Hey everyone, happy Halloween. This is Second Sight Tarot. I'm here to do the reading for Halloween 2021. It's going to be for, the message I was putting in there was for the 30th and 31st, so it's a combo of Mischief Night and Halloween, but also for the year to come in some aspects of the reading. So hope everybody's well. I hope you have a really great Halloween. There's a lot of stuff happening astrologically that are kind of turning things upside down on its head, but also some great things happening too. So hopefully we will find some balance within all of this stuff. So I already set up some of the cards. I pulled a couple of clarifiers or overall essence of the reading, but I also will pull some oracle. I have the Everyday Witch and Everyday Witch Oracle. I also have some zombie, the Zombie Tarot and Green Witch and Crow. So I have a little bit of everything. Everything that I had that was Halloween-y, I brought it to the table. So let's get started. So overall essence of the reading here. And I will also talk about the spread in a second. Actually, let me talk about it right now. So I got the spread on New Age Hipster, I think, .com online. I kind of just used the same thing. I liked it. I thought it was relevant and a little lighter than some of the ones that I was looking at. So anyway, so it's going to be like how we can honor this Halloween night or just this time at the end of October, the protection message for that night. We also have something to guide us or to guide our way with this. And then we have ghosts of our past that we can release, and we have messages from our ancestors and those who have passed, and then finally we have how we can see through this veil for the year to come, which I thought was an interesting combo that came out there. So we'll get into this in a little bit. Overall essence of this reading, the first ones I picked were the Page of Wands in the Green Witch Tarot, which I really love this a lot. This is like a new path that's being illuminated for some of us. Although it can be intimidating, I think that we are finding our inner strength to be able to move through this. Let me see what else I can see in the cards. I think that even though things might be intimidating to start something new, whether it's a new passion or a new path or a new job or something that really inspires us, I think that the passion that we have for it and then the inspiration that we have for it will help us take the first step into this new path. So try to really focus on what inspires you and how the passion is driving you forward, instead of feeling like you can't do something or that it's, there's an intimidation there that's kind of holding you back. Really look at why you are seeing this path come to fruition, and kind of guide it with the light that you have burning inside of you, whatever that is, whether it's art or a job opportunity or just something that really inspires you, a new ritual or routine that you're doing, a spiritual path that you're following. Whatever this looks like for you. Really stay focused on the passion that you have for it and the inspiration that you have for it, because that will help you really push through that fear to move forward. And we also have here the Ace of Swords. So there's definitely something new coming in. I mean, you have like this page is kind of taking you on this path, and then you have this new beginning. Sorry, it's hard to see my face with this big cat. This new beginning or this new idea, finding clarity within this. I guess I should say this first, but it fell down. It fell second. They both came out together. I don't know. I just feel like there's like this new way of looking at things now. And maybe that's maybe this is just a reminder of what is to come, and to have some clarity on this path and know why you started in the first place, which is your passion for it or this inspiration that you had for something, and just keeping that in mind when you're planning to take an action here, where it's coming from deep inside. So I really like these two together because I think it brings clarity. It brings like this new idea. And now you're like, pushing through to this fear or feeling intimidated to start it. You're like, you're deciding to drive through this. So that's the energy of the end of the month and going into, November and stuff. And I think, like I said, some of this is moving into for the year, setting up for the year, even though it's not New Year's, but some of this stuff doesn't unravel this quickly. So I think this is just something new coming in because there's so much going on in the month of October that I don't know. It feels like a new year to me in a sense of like what is happening and all of the change and shifting and newness coming in and death of things that no longer serve us. So we also have battle and play that came in together and the Crow Oracle, which I think is really interesting because they look exactly the same, but one is playful and one is fighting for what is ours, or like, not sharing. And it's interesting because that also came in the what we need to release is greediness, and selfishness and not helping your fellow man. So I think there's this beautiful synergy here of finding a balance between, taking what you need to feel safe and taking what you need for validation that you've worked hard for it. Because some people don't work hard, or you think people don't work as hard as you to take what is yours, or something that you've put a lot of time and energy into, and then somebody just comes and slips away, like a job opportunity or something like that. But so there's this sense of like really mine kind of energy, or like, taking what you think is yours. And then there's a sense of enjoyment and play. This is kind of like the Three of Cups to me. Where we're celebrating something and we're sharing, and we have our soul tribe next to us. So maybe this is just like half the people and half the people, and there's got to find a balance here, because I think there is a balance there, because they are the same card to me, but one is on one side, one is the other. So really interesting here. And that's not for all people. This is just for some, depending on where you are on that side. What side are you on? Then we also have the Zombie Tarot, which I've never played with before. This is my wife's deck. I think these are really cool. I don't know why I never really tapped into this. So you have the Four of Hazards, which are the Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. But I really feel like this is part of the battle of the Four of Pentacles being like having selfishness. This is like holding onto your assets too tight. Greediness, being a hoard. He's in his bunk or his underground bunker, and he's got all of this abundance, and then you see the people up here being like, we're starved, like, can we have some? So I think, and he's got his ears closed, like, like, this is my stuff and I'm happy here, and he's got his gun in his hands. Totally Halloweeny. But this is just telling you here not to be selfish, or maybe there is some selfishness here. Kind of like the battle, like, what is mine? These are telling me the same things. A little bit of possessiveness, a little bit of hoarding. So, especially if things like, food shortages and all that kind of stuff. So just take what you think you need to like survive, but don't take it all, It's just like share and care for your fellow man, that we all are in whatever is happening together, whatever that may be. Maybe just even winter coming in, and we're kind of just being, getting ready for hibernation and just being thoughtful a little bit and being a little bit more sharing and caring. And it's interesting because that is like the battle of, because I see that it's like this bird saying, this is mine. And then you have the playful. So finding balance within all of that too. And then we have, I love this. We have the Queen of Hazards, which is also very materialistic. She's very grounded, very confident. She's also very practical. But in this, it seems to be that she was chained down. It looks like at one point she is chained down, and then she doesn't have her arms. Which kind of feels the same energy as the Four of Pentacles or the Four of Hazards. It's this being too comfortable with materialistic things, being chained to them. like hoarding or having abundance of things. Like, do we really need all of these things? And I know this is like not a fun foo-foo reading of Halloween, you know, but it's the truth. And I think that this time of year really brings, or on like the veil comes down and things start to be unveiled and seen as they are. And this is the energy that we're seeing, you know. Are we too materialistic? Do we have too many things? Do we need all of those things? Are we too attached to those things? This is just the overall essence, but this is also asking you, like, what can you let go of? Are you that chained down? Are you that kind of, you know, consumed with all of these things around you that you're not willing to share or release some of them? Do you really need them? So this is what this is asking you. And I think that it's a sense of like putting some of this stuff down in order to, and we'll come to this when we're talking about the ghosts that from the past that you can leave behind or release. Like, this is what this is saying. You know, in order for have this newness and this inspiration to follow this new path and have this, like, you know, these new ideas and clarity and stuff, we have to release some of the baggage. You know, it doesn't come with us on our journey. You know, it really doesn't. So it's a matter of like really looking at your life and seeing what you can release and let go of. On that heavy note, let's get into the reading. So we have in the, let me see, sorry, I've never done this. So I'm going to be looking at what each card position means. So this is how we can honor this night. And I love this. It's the Strength card. So I'll show you this. She's doing some magic. She's got her cat. The lion is licking her hand. And this is saying here how we can honor this night, realizing that you are stronger than you think you are. You know, you have the capability, you have this inner power, inner strength to create whatever you want to create, you know? And this is what you're honoring your inner strength, honoring what you're capable of doing, and knowing that you can do this, like having that be your affirmation or your mantra, like you can do this no matter what it is. So going into, you know, this energy of Halloween and past that, because I do believe that this is moving past that, it's believing that you're strong enough and you have the inner power to create what you want to create. You know, and to me, this is a lot to do with this page of wands. You know, I feel like they're both holding wands and they're both creating energy here. So I think the first step here is, this goes here. The first step here is believing that you can do it and that you have the inner power and inner strength to create whatever you want. And then, well, I'm gonna pull some oracles for these two, because this is the second position, is how you can protect yourself, or the protecting message from this is the Fool. And this is basically saying that you can just take a leap of faith, you know, in all of this journey here. Just trusting in your gut, listening to your gut, embracing, you know, the unknown. And that is the protective message here, is like knowing, you know, first believing that you have the strength to honor that, believing that you have it, and then really listening and taking a leap of faith into this journey that you want, whether it's a new job or new house or a new career in general, going back to school, leaving a relationship, starting a relationship, like whatever, something that is stagnant that needs to shift, really believing that you have the strength to do it and taking a leap of faith. So I'm going to pull a oracle. And I do love the oracle cards that, what's her name? That Deborah Blake, well, it's Elizabeth, but I like that there's a lot more diversity in the oracles than just the actual everyday witch cards. If it wants to give me one, how we can honor this. If not, I'll just pull one. There we go. Ooh, I'm not going to take these. Meditate for clarity. How interesting is that? Because we just talked about, you know, having clarity here. really, stepping into this new path and taking action and just having clarity of something. Well, this is the beginning of what is to come. So meditation for clarity. So I think that just stilling the mind, doing some self-realization, just being in your space, being in your own temple, and just, sitting with yourself a little bit will create your knowledge of how powerful you are. And don't forget, the eights are all about mastery, about action, accomplishing something. And the strength card is an 8. So I really like these together of like meditation, because I think that will bring your self-awareness, your self-power, and also it will allow you to really be clear about what you want to do. What is your next step to move forward, and just taking that leap of faith in that next step. So stillness is key here. Taking some time to really contemplate. I know we've had a lot of time, but this is different stuff. This is going really deep within, and doing your own work here, because you have some more clarity. For some of us, we've been enlightened throughout this last few years, and because we've had an opportunity to sit with ourselves. But now I think this is going in a step further of really, honing in exactly where you want to initiate a spark and really take that forward. So I really do see this. I see like you're meditating, you're contemplating on this card, and then I see you like starting to really trust and believe and manifest your inner strength, or the acknowledgement of your will, and then really taking a leap of faith to soar and move forward with this. Really love these together. I think they tell a very straightforward message here. I want to pull a bunch of cards, but I think this is pretty accurate and pretty self-forward or self-explanatory. So in the next position, we have something to guide our way. And I changed that. It was something about guides, but I think that this is more practical for the collective. Something that will help us guide our way is to find balance within all of this newness and energy, and find balance in our life as much as we can find balance. Of course, it's not like practical or possible to find complete balance in all things, but the Temperance reminds us to, kind of with this stillness here, find balance and find a place of center or focus. It's find balance with, like, I love the cat is eating a cupcake and then she has carrots. It's finding balance with diet, finding balance with indulgence, finding balance with, like, studies, or your self spiritual growth. I just see like cupcakes here, and books and carrots and water and then liquor. So I think it's just finding a nice balance of, because especially in Halloween we eat candy and we drink and we like eat crap. So it's just finding this inner balance of really nourishing your temple in the right way. And then, so this is like how you could, something that can guide your way, just finding balance with like making sure you're nurturing yourself, nourishing yourself, but also having fun too, not giving up those things, but maybe counteracting those things, counterbalancing those things with some good stuff too. So I think that's self-explanatory. And then we have, and also this is a 5. A 4 and a 1 is a 5. And 5s are all about change, conflict, which could possibly be conflicting of finding balance, of like not wanting to find balance, or not knowing how, like if you're drinking too much, or if you're eating too many sweets, or if you're just, or if you're way too I know there's no such thing as way too healthy, but it's also giving your space to have some indulgence once in a while, and have some fun and letting go a little bit. So, it goes both ways, finding balance. Like sometimes it could be too much of a good thing and not really having any fun to balance out that energy that you're putting in. But anyway, so there could be a lot of shifting in that, but also some instability and conflict within finding that balance. So it's just telling you to look at that a little bit and see where that sits for you. Then we have the ghost that you can release. I'm going to get into this a little bit more. than I did with the others, but because it goes in depth. But this is the Six of Pentacles. Again, we are talking about the battle play and hoarding situation and sharing, but this goes both ways. So we have the Six of Pentacles, and she's giving food away, she's giving money away, and really finding a balance with give and take. And I think that's really important message here, because I think there's got to be a sense of compassion for yourself as well as other people. Like, are you nurturing yourself? Are you asking for help when you need it? And this is something to release. Instead of not asking for help ever and thinking that that shows weakness, maybe releasing that idea and asking for help, because I think that help that is not a weakness. That is a strength, in my opinion, of asking for help. Because sometimes things are not meant to be done alone, So, and that's just for some of you. For others, it's being a little bit more generous to people, finding compassion for others. And I think that's more of the collective, honestly, just because of what's going on in the world and just what I'm seeing here in the cards of this like tug and pull of what's mine and like finding peace and letting people in your space and not hoarding so much and being selfish. I'm not saying people are, but it's just a reminder of like where in our lives can we find a little bit more balance of having compassion and giving. Where's the charity, whether it's time spent, energy spent, financially, food, whatever way you give to find balance. But it's just asking of releasing the greediness a little bit, letting go of that grip a little bit, or letting go of being too giving all the time. Like how much, for some of you, like you're always giving and you're not giving to yourself. So just finding an awareness there of where you sit on the spectrum, and do you give and not receive? Because karmically that affects you down the road. Karma works like, you give, you get. And if you're giving, where do you have this wall up to receive, and it doesn't find a nice balance, and that creates disharmony within the body, the spirit, the Shen. This also creates disharmony with your karmic cycle, and it creates dis-ease in the body. It really does, because we need as much as we give, even if you don't believe it. So finding balance with this is really important. I'm going to pull a card. Six of Pentacles, please. Thank you. It's interesting. This card came out. I was pulling these at first. I'm like, what am I doing? Let me do this all together. And this card came out in a different position. I think it's more appropriate here. Because I think a lot of our issues today are that we're not connected to the earth. And this is connecting with Gaia, really grounding yourself, really rooting yourself, really exchanging that healing property of the earth, the ions with the earth, and really exchanging that. Like the earth takes what you give, and it's a perfect example of karma and what I was just talking about. It's like the earth takes what it needs, what she needs, and then you take what you need from her. And there's this synergy that's happening. There's give and take. It's perfect for these two cards to go together, because it's exactly what I said. Are you exchanging evenly, or at least even like having an even exchange in your own mind? Like, are you getting your cup full? Are you meeting your needs in some way that is important to you, for your survival, and you're important for your soul, not just for your humanistic needs, your human needs, but your spirit needs, like what does your soul need? It needs to be connected in all levels and balanced. And when you're giving too much or taking too much and not having that balance, there's no exchange there. So I'm going to pull another. I'll do one of these. Another card for here. So I like to go a little deeper into this. I think that is, let me do one more, hold on. Thanks. Interesting. So labor came out, which is the bee, the worker bee. So this does take a lot of work to really look at ourselves and really be honest with who we are. And And some of that will be released in interesting ways. I just see like the honey kind of pouring out, and then the bees going to like get it, and then there's a flower sprouting. So I think that, you know, it does take time to really nurture this aspect of ourselves. I think it's really important to really dig deep and to be honest with yourself. And I think this takes a lot of hard work. But it also takes work as like shared, you know, working with the community or finding balance some way. They don't have to do this alone, like, because the bees work together in a hive. They don't do this alone for the queen, you know. But just taking, and then really reflecting on a lot of the things that you do. So I think that the first thing that needs to be looked at here is like what our habits are. Like what are our patterns? You know, how are we deficient in one aspect and abundant in another? And really taking a look at that a little deeper to see what comes up for you, because it's going to be different for everybody. And a lot of times we realize that, you know, I mean, not all times, some people can really be taking for themselves a lot, but even within that, there's such a depletion on the other end, and they just don't see it, you know. So there's an ignorance to it, or like a naive aspect to that, when the ego gets so big, because it's hungry for that thing that you're feeding it. You know, we're addicted to the things that we feed our bodies and our souls. So just taking a look at it, reflecting on what you need to adjust, if you're willing to adjust it. Even you could see it and take a look at it and be like, I'm not willing to move that right now because this is too hard, and I just want to be comfortable and feel comfortable and safe, and that's totally okay too. But at least acknowledge where you're at. At least acknowledge where you're at. Have an awareness there. That's what it's asking. Okay, so now we move on to messages from our ancestors and those who've passed. Ooh, we have the Tower, which I think is a good one, because towers mean change and reconstructing of something that was not working, in my opinion. I'll show you the Tower, and then I'll show you. I'll tell you about it. So this is also letting go of, something that has already crashed and burned. Because if we're talking about like a message from our ancestors and those who passed, I think they're saying let go of old patterns. Sorry, my dog's barking, and she doesn't stop, so she'll keep going and going, kind of like me. Anyway, so yeah, I think that there's a sense here of letting go of what has already crashed and burned, and being okay with those things. You know, that's what their message is. They're saying, like, you know, release ancestral baggage. Sorry, that's distracting. I don't even know if you can hear it when I'm talking. Hopefully not. I'm trying to stay focused here. But I could have a moment of silence for her, but there is no silence. Anyway, so, you know, this is like, this may have already happened, or this might still be coming into your, like, kind of bleeding into your life, even though it already happened, because we hold on to this stuff in ourselves, you know. And it looks to me like she kind of created this. Some of us may have already created this tower because we needed to create this tower for ourselves. So there's a sense of peace and like pleasant, almost like a thankfulness, or she's just kind of like smiling, like, yes, this is burning because this is what needs to be done. I'm done with this. So for some of us, that might have been caused by us, but the ancestors, or like those who loved you and those who passed on, are saying, like, you know, it's time to release this stuff, release the fear, and let go of old patterns and old ways of thought, so we can make room for this new stuff coming in. You know, this Ace of Swords and the page going on this journey, releasing like these fears to like move forward. Still going, told you. And so I think I'm going to pull more cards on this, but I think it's interesting and I think it's appropriate. The Tower, please. A message from my ancestors. Thank you. Rebirth and rejuvenation. Yes. Absolutely. And I do think this is why they're asking this, because in order for things to move through, we have to let go of the past a little bit. We have to let go of these things that we hold on, that we're not willing to let go of, that have been past their prime for a while now. Or even if they're fresh, just seeing it in a perspective like, this is allowing me to have a rebirth now and a rejuvenation of some sort, of something, a rebuild, you know. And towers have to happen. Something has to end in order for something to begin. And this is exactly what I was saying here with the Ace of Swords and with the Page. And even like all of this stuff, that finding your inner strength, and then the Fool card. We have like the beginning of this journey here, which is happening soon, you know, if not already. Which I think for some of you, it's already been happening. And now you're just taking that first step into this. So, you know, there is a sense of like renewing or kind of baptizing. I'm not saying this in every time I go to the ocean, I'm not very religious, but I go in the ocean, I kind of like I baptize myself into this new way, like cleansing the things that I don't want on me anymore. And I do this every time I get in the ocean. So this is what this is reminding me of. It's a sense of cleansing yourself from the old to allow room for the new. And that's what our ancestors want. We want to change generational blockages and illnesses, and we can do that with starting with ourselves, you know, letting go of old trauma that happened in our family cycle, you know, from generation to generation. We can even go back that far. This doesn't have to be just in your daily life. This could be like breaking down this tower and these walls, burning it to the ground of how we perceive our family dynamic and how the family looked at life and all that kind of stuff. So I really love this because this is starting like a rebuild of something new for all of our offspring. You know, if you're young enough and you want to have kids and like you're breaking this ancestral cycle, not all of it. Of course, we want to hold on to like some things, you know, rituals and like things that mean stuff, a lot of stuff to us, but not trauma. We don't want to hold on to trauma. We want to release it and set it free because we already have enough of that in life, like living through life in general. Just as a human, we have enough trauma. We don't need to hold on from past. So, or maybe we do, but I personally would like to release that kind of stuff. So, you know, we can break certain cycles of stuff that doesn't really exist anymore. There's new ways of doing things now, I think, in my opinion. So just rebirthing yourself, like these things have to come down in order to rebuild the way you want it. So that's basically what this is saying. And then we have how we can see through the veil for the year ahead, or all year round, you know, which I think is an interesting duo. So we have the Eight of Wands. Things are coming in fast. How we can see through this veil. I think it's going to come in quickly. I think it comes like a storm. I'm not gonna lie. This is what I see here. It's just coming in quickly. You know, this comes in stronger than you think. You know, it comes in fast. But it thinks that things are coming together. Things are happening fast. This is good stuff too. You know, it's just abrupt. It comes like quickly, and it could bring a storm. You know, I mean, there's like a, you know, windstorm behind her, tornado behind her. It's coming in fast, but that doesn't mean it's a negative thing. This means I feel like this is a sense of like things coming in, and when the smoke clears, you'll see clearly, and you'll see between the lines. You know, you'll see things as they are instead of the illusion of what you thought beforehand. And I think this needs to happen in order to see that. And this is also an 8, which is also like, you know, really connecting with your inner wisdom and your confidence and like success. But it's just going to come in abrupt, faster than you expected, you know. So that's, and I'll pull a card for these two. And then we have the 7 of Swords. I swear this comes in from my readings all the time. Interesting on this card, though, like if we're reading it from here, are you running away or are you running towards something? You know, are you running to it or away from it? Is there something, is what you're seeing and what you're doing or what other people doing trustworthy? Are you avoiding something or is there some kind of deceit? And I think that, is there something being kept from you? Or are you keeping something from someone? that is like traditional of what this means. But to me, what I'm seeing together is that things are coming so fast, you know, and it's creating this shitstorm. Honestly, it's creating this, like, all of this turmoil because it's coming in fast. Something good too. It doesn't have to be bad, like I said. And then once this smoke clears, you're going to start to see things clearly. You're going to start to see the truth of things. You know, I know this is not the moon card, and like there's other, I'm going to pull some stuff, but that's what I see. I feel like you're going to start seeing things clearly to make these choices. Like, are you being trustworthy, or is somebody else just being deceitful? You're going to start seeing things clearly after this energy settles a little bit. And it's up to you to make those decisions on what you want to do next. Can you please clarify Eight of Wands and Seven of Swords? We have a lot of sevens and eights. Also, the Tower is a 7. I'll show that to you before I start. I'll just show you this one. Also, the sevens are about reflection and assessing situations. You know, inner wisdom again, and having the knowledge, clear knowledge of what the truth is. Go with the flow. That's appropriate for this because it's so funny because I think that back here there's a storm, and that's this storm I see. It may not be a storm, it may be sunshine, but to me that looks like a storm, and this is that storm, and this is just asking you, like, you can't change this. Finding balance with yourself, you know, this inner balance of what we discussed in the beginning. And just going with the flow of this change. She's lost her paddle, and she's just kind of going with it. It's going to push you along anyway because it's moving quickly. So really going with the flow here. I'm going to pull one more. One more, please, for the Swords. Thank you. Speak your mind. I think this definitely goes more with this about the truth being revealed, or like asking questions, really talking this out, speaking your truth. Maybe something needs to be spoken out here, and this is something that can be that could be seen through the veil for the time after this, like through the year or whatever. The truth. Speaking the truth, finding out the truth, talking about things, asking questions if you have doubt about something, really talking it out. And I think that will plant seeds for a future of being a little bit more balanced with honesty and integrity and all that kind of stuff, instead of the Seven of Swords kind of energy that's out here. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting reading. I'm going to pull some self-care cards and send you on your way. I was going to wear my Halloween costume, but it goes out really long, and then it has like all these things, and I would not be able to do the cards. It would drive me crazy. I tried it and I was like, no way. So that's why I didn't wear my Halloween costume, but it was a thought and a plan. Should have thought of that when I got the costume, but I was going to be a witch. It's a really pretty costume, but not for reading. So that's why I'm in this hat again. Going with the flow. Okay, self-care cards for Halloween. For the collective. Whoa, that's strong. One more. Okay. So make a vision board. I love doing these, and I was starting to do it with my daughter, but she was over it. But I think this is a way of communicating to the universe. Really finding some compassion and connecting with your deeper emotions here, and getting it on paper, and like really asking for things, planting seeds, kind of, you know, of, you can put it on your wall like she is, or just put it on paper, or whatever you want to do. So I think that's great. Syncing with the moon. I just feel like this is more about, you know, some of the secrets and stuff that are coming out the truth being revealed. I think that's more about that kind of stuff and emotional, really connecting to your intuition and to your emotions here. Clear your energy field. Doing sage. And this is for actual Halloween, just because of all the stuff going on. Really connecting to the earth, like we've spoken about. Saging yourself, using crystals, using oil. I just made an anointing oil with frankincense. I think I forget the other one. It's like a poxy something. I forget. They use it in rituals and stuff. I have the resin and myrrh, and there was one other thing that I made in there. Oh, vetiver in oil, and I used almond seed oil. But I do that for protection when I don't want to be open to energy. So really cleansing yourself and just being cautious about the energy that's going on right now. Because the veil does thin, I feel like, at this time, in my opinion. So connect with your womb. But I think this is also connecting with root chakra. Definitely here. So you can look that up if that resonates. Grounding yourself is definitely... This card is exactly this card. Connecting with earth. So those are just a few things I love this. And making yourself a meal. This also sits with me the way that... where is that card that we were talking about was in the beginning? I feel like I was looking at a card that was... Oh, here it is. The Temperance. I forget where she was at this point now. Probably something for the guides to guide your way. Finding balance. In the background, she's finding balance between eating junk and eating healthy. I think that's also what this means to me. Creating a meal that's healthy. I think for some of you maybe need to eat a little cleaner so you can be more open energetically. So hopefully that resonated. I hope you have a really great Halloween. I will see you for the collective shortly. I might do some really cool things as well. Some really different videos that I've been wanting to do for a long time. They're coming out. And so I will be seeing you for those. And I hope you take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay grounded, and I hope you have a lot of fun. Take care of yourself.